So hi, awesome ones. A little while ago, I did a summertime makeup and I thought to myself, hey, why don't I show you a fall and a winter makeup from start to finish? And I'm showing really the colors that I would use for that. So can't wait to show this to you. It all starts in just a few seconds. So stay tuned till the end of this video where I'm going to have a little pep talk for you on resetting for fall. I want you all to be really energized in this beautiful, colorful time of year. But first, I got to take off all this makeup. So here I am with no makeup, but I do have my face primer on and I'm using the one from Strivectin. And you're probably thinking to yourself, what's this primer? Well, primer goes all over your face except for your eyes. And think about priming a wall. You know when you're painting and you're trying to put the primer on to hide those flaws? Well, we've got fine lines and wrinkles and this kind of fills them in a little bit. And also for the eyes, you want to use a different kind. This is by Urban Decay and it's for the eyes, and basically I just go around like this, and it also helps to set the eyeshadow. Now I wanted to put that on before I started my makeup because you gotta let it dry a little bit. And by the way, if you're wondering about these products, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have links for most of them below the description and also in the comments. And just a reminder, this is a makeup for fall or winter, and it also has a youthful glow for us. So I'm using the Boing concealer, and the reason that I like that is because it has the moisturizer in it. So maybe you can see the moisturizer there. It goes on very, very light, and you can see I've got these dark circles under here. It's not going to solve the problem completely, but it will help quite a bit. There we go. All right, so that is done. And now when I say it doesn't help things completely, look, I've still got some lines here. I've got some dark purpley parts in here. And what I am using here is the Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. It's by IT Cosmetics. Oh my gosh, if you want to cover up like almost anything, this is incredible. I'm using a brush like that and a little bit here. And I'm going to have to use my mirror for this one because I want to get right down this line here. So we're just going to go up there. And I use my finger usually just to tap it in a bit. Underneath, there's a little spot right there that always shows up. And there's that purpley part I was talking about. This adds a little bit of brightness, putting some concealer in here. And I'll put a little bit here. Need that little bit of brightness. Now again, along this line, it's not so bad on this eye. It's kind of weird, but it's not so bad on this eye. Now, the other thing that we want to do is we want to hide those age spots. Look at them. I got them here and here. This one right here is a big one. Just cover it up here. Now, I can be as sloppy as I want with this because, to be honest with you, I put the foundation on over top of this, and so look at how that's covering. Isn't that incredible? It's just like, there it is, and there it's gone. There's a little guy there. I just, you know, I got freckles and things too. I don't always want to have them out. And okay, watch this. I'm going to go along inside my marionette lines. What? Well, it actually helps to get rid of, well, not get rid of them, let's face it, we're not going to get rid of them, but if you brighten them up where the crease is, and the same thing with the 11s, you know, these 11s up here, oh, why not? I just put a little bit of lightness in there, and then when I put on my makeup, it kind of covers it up. Now we need this to dry because we're going to put the foundation on top of it. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that to dry, let's do our eyes. And I am using here Infallible. This is a brown and it's by L'Oreal. It's kind of a stick pencil. just kind of twists. And sorry, but I do have to sort of put this up to my eye here. Along and along my eye. What a nice line there. Don't use black. Black is really harsh unless you're really dark skinned. And I need a little upturn because I got hooded eyes. So let's just do a little upturn there. I love this Revlon Eye Contour Kit, and this is in the browns. And I'm suggesting for the fall and winter, you go in the browns, not so much the purples, the pastel colors. And it's got even these little applicators in here, and it kind of shows you, I don't know if you can see that, how to use it. But I'm going to put a little bit up here. We want to brighten our eye. When we brighten our eyes, it gives us a youthful appearance. So let's just put a little bit here. See how that's waking things up a little bit? You could even put a little bit in the corner here if you want. And all right, so now I've got this other part here. See this brown part here? And I'm using the applicator like this. And I'm just going inside the crease. And I've showed you before how to put a card there. I'm kind of used to this. You can put an index card here to go to the right place. But I kind of know what I'm doing. And a little bit more brown over here. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that looks awful, but we haven't done any blending yet. All right, so now I'm going to switch these over. See this darker one right about the middle here? I'm going to put some of that darker on, and I'm going to put it right in the crease. Because not only do I have hooded eyes, but I got a lot of wrinkles in here in my eyes now, and you might have the same thing, like, where'd those wrinkles in the eyelids come from? I'm not happy about those. Okay, so let's, all right. Also, underneath your eyes, again, no more liner. If you can, please stop the liner because it's making your eyes look smaller and it's making you look older. I'm going to use this dark here, very, very lightly with a brush like this. And this is all I'm doing under my eyes. Here, sorry. There you go. All right, so let's get into some blending. And I'm using a blending brush like this, and I'm just sort of blending it out. Blending it out. Blending it out over here as well. Generally what you use is about 3 different blending brushes because you want to get into the crease as well and blend that in. And get into the, see now I'm noticing I don't have as much dark here, so I'll just touch that a bit. Get into the crease. And then finally I have one other blending brush like this. And you could probably just use one, but I like to use the different ones. And I'm just blending it all into the top as well. And blending it out, especially if you have hooded eyes, that works there. All right, so now the concealer is dry. I'm going to use my Shiseido Skin Glow, and it's actually called Synchro Skin Glow. I put a little bit on my hand here, and my color is rose for that. And I like to use these little puffs here, or sponges, I guess they are. I'm going to lightly go over here. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting a layer of foundation on that's covering up the concealer, but it's not taking it off. So for me, this is the way I put on my my makeup, and a lot of the makeup artists when I was modeling, this is what they did as well. So I'm just kind of following their lead, covering up all those dark spots that I have. And what I like about this Shiseido Synchro Glow is it's very, very, very glowy. And that's what we need, is a bit of a youthful glow, right? Okay, so that is all done now, and I'm thinking about what to do next. What I would do next is I would put on my CoverGirl Exhibitionist Black Brown Mascara. I need a layer of mascara right about now because I do about 3 of them. So we're just going to go like this. And why am I doing my mascara now? Well, because I want to let everything dry. There's no sense in putting on a blush over top of what I have right now because it's just going to turn to mush, really, right? So there we go. All right, and next what we can do is my eyebrows. And again, I really like stencils for my eyebrows, and you're probably wondering to yourself, what's a stencil? Let me just brush them up a little touch here. That's a stencil. And what it does is there's a little bit of powder. Again, I'll have links for this for you. I'm using a brown powder. And what you do, oh, I do need my mirror for this. Put it over top of your eyebrow, like that. And then you get a little brush and you put it into the powder. Brush it in. I got an eyebrow. Isn't that awesome? I just love these. And you can get them in natural or thin or maybe even, you know, wider, but I just like the natural ones. And as you can see, look at my eyebrows are a mess, right? They're not even all eyebrows anymore. They're kind of missing a part here. Now the thing is, you kind of got to get them, and excuse me if I don't make this perfect because I am trying to do it with a camera, but let's just go down a little bit more like that. All right, and fill it in. And voila! I have 2 eyebrows that are actually symmetrical. So I do want to keep them in place because that's just powder. So I use the Great Lash clear mascara on this, and I just brush them up. There we go. Brush them up. All right. And I really think that the darker brows are nicer for the fall as well. All right, now I've got this kind of drying up, and you're going to say to yourself, I wonder what she's going to use for blush. Well, you're not going to believe it. I'm using Bronze Goddess from Estee Lauder, and this is the color medium. And you're thinking to yourself, isn't that a bronzer? But I think that in the fall, it's kind of nice to have, you know, a little bit more of a brown and not really pinky. So I just, and this is a little bit on the pinky side. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put these kind of into the apples of my cheeks here. A little bit of color. I want to match it a little bit very lightly with the rest so it doesn't just look like I've got the cheeks there. And also I want to set underneath this concealer because it is kind of shiny right now. And I'm using the Revlon Anti-Shine, the powder. Why am I showing the powder? Because a lot of you told me you can't get the cream anymore. So that's what we're doing there. And we're going to put a little bit of this underneath my eyes to just kind of blend the colors in a little bit more. All right, mascara time. Okay, so now that I put the powder under here, I can go ahead and put some mascara on the bottom. For the next thing, we need, well, we really definitely need some contouring. And I'm using the Tarte, this is called Exposed. And I'm going to do a little bit of contouring now. A little bit down my cheekbones. Okay. A little bit on the jowls. Yes, I have some jowls. That's okay, a lot of us have those. And I'd also put a little bit down my nose. All right, and what we need next, absolutely, we need some lipstick, don't we? So I found a beautiful Revlon one for fall. Here it is. It's called Wine with Everything, and I think that's a great name for it as well. It's a real lipstick, and I'm just going to, you know, do the normal. A pretty color. just love that color. And I don't have color to color for every single lipstick. So this one here, this is NYX. And I'm just going to sort of do a liner along it in a similar color. There we go. Let's sort of get my hair out here. Make sure I didn't forget anything. All right, so that's how I look now. And you know, I feel like I could wear almost any color because this brown is very, very subtle. And also, let's take a look at my before picture, and then let's take a look at the after. So we can really see the difference with the two pictures beside each other. And in the before picture, you know, there's lots of flaws and dark circles. But in the after picture, you're seeing that I have a more consistent color on my face. I also have those dark circles are pretty well diminished. And look at those eyes, they're vibrant and alive. And again, I love those lips. Now let's just talk for a second about resetting for fall and winter. Hey, you know, when fall comes along, we start decorating our house, we put up new fall wreaths and decor, and we maybe even put up some pumpkin spice aroma. But it's also time for us to kind of change things up a little bit. I showed you with the makeup, and maybe what you want to do is get a new pair of jeans or a jacket, or maybe even some puddle jumping boots. But you know, the world is opening up right now, and it's a great time to get out there, to do a big reset, and to keep it awesome.